Welcome to the Grandstand Golf Podcast. I am Kevin Bapty, and I'm joined, as always, by my brothers Greg.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And Adam.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So we're going to do a special episode this week. This is going to be a preview podcast for a couple of the tournaments coming up. The Mayakoba Classic and the Golf in Dubai Championship. So why don't we get started with the Mayakoba Classic? Actually, I guess, guys, we had a week off there. Did you guys manage to do anything with your lives besides golf?
I miss you guys.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
I've got a new puppy at home. Oh, you can hear my wife yelling at him right now. So I'm up at 5 a.m., which is nice because we had this tournament out in South Africa, the Alfred Dunhill, and I don't know how much you guys caught of it, but it was awesome. Like the course, it's a bucket list course. It's Leopard Creek, it's called. It's a Gary Player built. It doesn't have a fence with Kruger National Park. So you're literally like right on the edge of the park, and there's just all these animals that you could like see from the edge of the course. But the broadcast, it's. I was telling Adam this. Besides the Masters, it might be my favorite golf broadcast I watch all season long.
That's incredible. It's just like your two favorite things brought together. Hey, it's like Planet Earth meets golf, and
yeah, it's like BBC
and it's coffee first thing in the morning. And you're in heaven.
Got a little puppy sleeping on my lap. It was great. But this one broadcaster just blew me away. He's like an amateur birder. And so there'd be some bird that the cameraman is picking up for B-roll. And he's just like, oh, yes, like that's the brown African warbler. Interesting note, it actually has no oils. And so it has to dry its feathers in the sun for an hour after it goes in the water. And you're just like, man, like this is great fun facts.
Wow.
I'm super jealous of those type of people. I go to my backyard and there's like 4 types of trees in this area where I live. I'm like, that could be an aspen. I live in Aspen. I don't know. I can't even name a tree. These guys are naming these rare exotic birds.
And then you'll be like, oh, this is an easy one. Is that a male or a female? The other guy's like, 50-50 shot.
Mm-hmm. Well, Adam, never say never. First you got to master those 4 trees, and then you can move on from there, right?
Yeah.
Craig, it sounds like you're already halfway there. I think you are an amateur birder, are you not? Come on.
Very, very amateur.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, let's
don't lose your amateur status too early, okay?
Yeah,
I got to keep the options open.
Yeah.
Compete in the Olympics.
Adam, why don't you give us a course preview for the Mayakoba Golf Classic?
Yeah, Mayakoba, we're at El Chameleon Golf Club. It's a shorter one. It's just north of Playa del Carmen, or just south. I think
just like
north.
It's almost in it, but I want to say on the north edge.
Yeah, right along the ocean, but cuts into kind of the forest jungle, whatever you want to call it there. It's got the paspalum grass, so a thicker, kind of grabbier resort grass that you'll see in a lot of the Mexico, possibly Hawaii type
Caribbean,
Puerto Rico. Yeah. Those courses. It's got the famous Devil's Mouth bunker on hole 7 where it kind of is in the middle of the fairway and then it opens up and then it opens up into the earth. It's got like a cool cave in there. It's a shorter course, 7,000-ish yards and change, par 71. We've been there, I think, for quite a few years. A lot of history there.
I think 2007. They've been running this tournament there since 2007. So long history at the same course, which is always nice for trying to plan out how it's going to play. Reasons.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but the last time I was down that way was when I was getting married.
That's
Have you guys been down there since? It's actually been over 8 years now, if you can believe that.
No, that was last time for me as well.
I think the last time for me, I mean, 8 years kind of seems close, but it also seems like a.
Didn't you have another friend that got married down there, Adam?
Oh yeah, I did. Sorry, Thomas.
I think long time listener Thomas. He likes to think he's my child's namesake as well. But.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
We might have just lost a listener there, guys. Did you take us out golfing at this course, Kevin, or what?
No, I was just trying to think if the course we went to for my stag there was this one. I'm thinking it probably wasn't. I don't remember the Devil's Mouth bunker. So
yeah, I feel like
we
been there.
Yeah,
But if you
one of
look
us
at
either would have
photos-
fallen in or remembered it.
Yeah. If you look at photos, though, it's a very similar type of course. I mean, I don't remember the sort of windswept along the beach holes, but these other ones here that are just cut from the jungle, I remember a lot of that because I remember hitting into that jungle a few times.
Yeah.
And just it's gone. The ball's gone, right?
Yeah.
No hope.
Yeah. Well, do you guys want to move right into our picks here then?
Yeah, just before we do, I mean, there's a few things about the course. I think that it is shorter. The other thing I've read is that oftentimes shorter courses you could still have distance being a real weapon. But this course, because of all the hazards, it really does protect itself. So it's really a matter of putting it in play off the tee and then hitting approach shots, hitting wedges in, and then it becomes sort of like a shootout. Like you need to be making birdies, you need to be hitting wedges in tight and making putts. Greens will roll slow because the wind, and so like these guys need to be making birdies.
Oh, I guess the weather would be another interesting note, and it looks like it's kind of wet. I don't know if you guys looked at the forecast for Playa del Carmen, but it looks wet, a little bit windy, so it might not be crazy low scoring out there.
Well, depending on if it's not super windy and it's wet, it could actually be pretty soft.
Yeah, this could fire away.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, recent winners here. That kind of builds a portfolio or a profile of these golfers. We got Brendan Todd last year, Matt Kuchar, Patton Kizzire, Pat Perez, Pascal and Pat Perez, of course. Graham McDowell, Charlie Hoffman, Harris English are kind of the last handful there.
Now, also, I mean, it's very, very rare that we get any kind of strong field down here. So, it's because of how weird this year has been. We have JT and Brooks and a lot of these guys that are not coming here in a normal year. Oftentimes, there's scheduling conflicts with other tournaments.
We do have Rickie Fowler as a runner-up one year. Gary Woodland. But yeah,
interesting note about Rickie. He's in the field this week, so I believe Rickie is 49th in the world right now. Mm-hmm. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the last tournament of the year, which will lock in the world rankings for the Masters. So Rickie's looking to do well here. I didn't
know about that narrative.
Yeah.
Well, do well, but also like a single person, like a winner comes up and passes them, that could knock.
Is it do well or is it defensive and make the cut?
That's what I mean.
I don't know. Yeah. That's interesting.
And then, like, is it 50th or is it is 50? Is it?
I believe it's top 50.
So he's got a 1 spot buffer.
I think so. And again, I could be wrong about that. There are a few other events that will affect that on the European tour.
I wonder if he could fly out to Dubai next week.
He wouldn't be in
a WGC or anything. No, I guess not.
No, but he wouldn't be in the field. This is his last.
Just top 60 next week. Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of a side story for this week for some of these guys that aren't going to be playing in any more of the other events around the world. Mm-hmm. So let's just get right into our picks. Craig, why don't we start off with you?
So I'm really going a long ways down. I'm going all the way down to Justin Thomas at he's coming in at 13-2. So this is in large part just because I've been building my DFS lineups and I'm building a lot of them with him in it. I think so. First off, he's just far and away the class of the field. It's Justin Thomas. There's no DJ. There's no Rahm. There's no Rory. He's on a tier by himself, I think. You look at his last 5 starts: 4th at the Masters, tied for 2nd at Zozo, tied for 12th at the CJ, tied for 8th at the US Open, tied for 3rd at the Tour Championship. Those fields are a little bit stronger than what we're looking at here. So he's playing good golf. I think the one thing, as always with Justin, if it doesn't demand length off the tee. So if he can get away with, hitting 3 woods and managing his way around off the tee, his approach game is off the wall. So as long as he's not getting wild and losing strokes off the tee, I think he's got a great chance to take this thing down.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with you there. if it wasn't for the fact that I had just picked him to win the Masters, I probably would have picked him again this week. He, like you say, it's his to lose at this point, as far as I'm concerned. His floor is just so high. I think you're smart to be building your DFS lineups around him.
Yeah, it gets tricky though. You need to get a lot of lower owned or.
You know how I love to scrape the bottom of the barrel down there. Actually, on that note, like if you're playing DFS this week and you play on FanDuel, check out Brian Harmon, because he is
that's
minimum priced at 7,000, and I want to say he's like top 15, top 20 in terms of odds on all the betting websites. So it's just it's a total misprice that's sort of like a bit of a free square.
Yeah. The one thing about JT too, I don't know if you guys get this feeling, but I feel like he just likes to pick off these weaker field ones when he does play it, He's like, hey, I'll take another win for my overall career record book.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the end of the career, that win total doesn't tell you whether it was Mayakoba or...
Yeah, that's true. He wins some big ones too, though, so I'm not going to...
for sure. Yeah.
He just wins. That's
he just wins. He just wins. And I mean... I guess in that sense, it doesn't matter what the strength of the field is. He wants to win it. So I don't expect some guys, like you may hear in my fade, for example, don't really care if it's not a big field. Adam, who do you got winning this thing?
Okay, my winner. He was my one and done last week, but Russell Henley. I'm going back to Russell Henley. I think he's just playing really good golf right now. Kind of building on what Craig said about the course, two stats that really stick out for Henley. He's 10th in driving accuracy this year, 73% hitting fairways. He's 9th in strokes gained approach, plus 1.169, just like crazy high. He's only played here twice, only 6 rounds. He missed the cut in 2020, but in that missed cut, he went 66-77. So it's kind of a blow up there, but the 66 is still good news. He was 29th in 2019. Overall,
maybe he found that devil's mouth and got stuck in there for a while.
Yeah, just hacking away, ping-ponging around. But you add up those 6 rounds, his scoring average is 69.33. So I think it's good enough history with how well he's playing now that he's a really solid person to challenge JT.
Yeah, solid pick. I think he was my one and done last week as well, or last tournament as well. He's been playing really well. He didn't actually have a great tournament that week, unfortunately.
He got 30th for us, about 40 grand in points.
Yeah, which was his lowest finish that he'd had in a while, I believe. Yeah. So, it's a solid pick. Can't argue too much with that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's almost nice when you see someone not play well and they're getting 30th, because I think if we've spoken about it a few times, his approach play has just been stellar for a while now.
Yeah.
And we saw that again, even when he didn't play well, he lost, just slightly lost strokes off the tee. I think he's a perfect guy on a course that's not longer, because he has been very accurate off the tee. The one thing that keeps him from being really like a superstar level golfer is he's just not long enough off the tee as some of these, these top guys are. So on a course like this where you don't need that, I think that it's a huge plus to him.
So, one thing I did want to add there is a betting preview. So I forgot to say he's 22-1.
Yeah.
I think really nice odds when you're looking kind of past JT. There's kind of that. Well, there's kind of the Brooks and Finaus, but past that area, I think he stands out a little bit.
And in terms of a play, I think I like that more than JT at 6 or 13-2, 6.5 to 1. I like Russell Henley 22-1.
I also think it was the CJ Cup where he was playing in the final group. Was that the one that Koepka ended up winning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I remember him being in the fairway on 18 and asking if Koepka had made birdie and how far in front. I think he was 3 in front, and Henley being kind of pissed off about it and disappointed. Which to me showed that this is a guy who's not just happy to get a high finish; he wants to win. And those are the guys you want to pick as your winners. Those are the guys you want to back when you're making your bets, because they don't 1 second. They're gonna shoot for the win.
Yeah,
which is what you want. So, my pick to win is Mr. Abraham Ancer. Ancer has been playing great lately. Had a little run at the Masters there. His history at this course is strong. He's had 2 top 10s, I believe, in his last 2. And, you know, going to Mexico where he's from, you got to think the vibes are good there. Yeah, Abe, it's time for him to take one down. He's been playing too good. Maybe his only knock is that he doesn't hit it a mile either, and I think this course sets up well for that. Again, good history at the course, and I just think he's too good to not have a win. I think he's going to get a win here and take care of that. And at 20-1, I've already put down my money.
You locked it in.
Yeah, so he has top 10s this past year, and then it was 2 years ago, so the year before, and then at 21st in between them. So, you know, good course history.
Yeah. And
the other thing we had mentioned, I forget which after which tournament it was, but you know, he doesn't have that win, and so maybe he breaks through on home soil.
On home soil, yeah.
I mean, it's not really he's born in Texas, but a Mexican and American parents, and but he plays out of Mexico. He calls it home. So
yeah, I mean, I really like it as well. I might be teasing a little bit of a pick coming up here. I really like it. Also, I think so. We had Carlos Ortiz win a few weeks ago, just before the Masters. I don't know. There seems to be some kind of like storybook kind of fairy tale ending here with Abe Ancer. I think it would be a really good spot for a win. He kind of builds off Ortiz. He's on a high. He's in Mexico. He takes it home. I don't know.
Classic Adam loving that narrative.
Speaking of Ortiz at 45-1 was runner up here last year as another great pick. I chose Ancer over him, but another guy I like.
I messed up. What was Ortiz when I picked him as my sleeper? 125 or something? I cannot swallow a 45-1. Are you kidding me? There's no way I'm doing that.
You can't handle that inflation.
Well, so what was he? You said he was 145-1 or 125-1?
125, I think.
But you took him at the top 10 at like 3-1, didn't you? Or top 20.
Hey, safe.
So these are still better odds than that.
This is safe play.
All right. Well, speaking of the long odds, let's go with our long shots. Craig, start us off. Who you got as a long shot?
Okay, so I'm going with, and this is a tentative one because I'll get some more information on Wednesday on our live Twitch show. Okay. But I'm going with Doug Ghim. I wanna talk to one of our regular listeners to see whether he's got any inside info from the dry cleaning aunt and uncle. Ghim, so last 5 tournaments he has 4 finishes tied for 23rd or better. I think he's just playing great golf. Do I think he's going to win? I think it's a big ask to ask, for him to go out and win this thing. So maybe I like it more as a top 10 or something like that. But that said, don't be like Adam and just play the top 10. Still just put that one little token on the win anyways. But yeah, I'll be rostering him a lot as well in DFS. I like where his price point's at there. He's been playing good golf. I think it continues.
I mean, he has been playing really good golf. His one missed cut this year is at Corrales Punta Cana, another past Palom. His price has creeped up a lot on DFS and outright odds. I don't know. It feels like I'm being a little bit hipster here, but he's a little bit too popular for me.
Yeah, it's like Coldplay.
I don't know.
Because they're popular, you don't like them anymore?
I don't know. That's a. I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I don't know, Kevin. What's your thoughts on Ghim?
I don't really have many thoughts on Ghim. You summed it up pretty nice there, though, Adam. If you think his price is sneaking up, I wouldn't be taking him in 5th unless it was a good long price. So, I think he's one of these guys. If you're watching him, then maybe it's a good spot to jump on him. If not, if you haven't been watching him, that's why his price is where it is, and I don't know much about him. So other than what you guys have told me.
I agree with Craig. It's a bet on talent, and I think his talent, if you look around the guys similar in pricing, his long-term potential is probably a lot better than a lot of them. But there's still question marks. I think Craig, you kind of nailed it. You're not sure about an outright win, but a sneaky top 5.
But I also think it's, to me, it's a bit, we're looking at an ascendant player. And so, yes, his price is going up and his odds are getting shorter. But I'll still ride it until we start to see if he's in top 20s, he's still worth it. So, I guess it depends on where you're looking to play him. I think it's a big ask for him to go out there and win this thing, but I do like him to finish high in this field.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump into my long shot next, because I don't have a ton to say about him other than I'm a fan. Max Homa at 175 to 1. Hasn't been playing his best golf. He did get into the Masters, this past Masters. He just missed the cut by 1 on the number. And I don't believe he's qualified for next year's Masters yet. He won't do it with his world rank where it's sitting now. I'm sure he wants to get back there. A win here would do it. So, I'm cheering for him. He's also one of these guys that I think, although he hasn't been playing his best golf, I think once he gets himself into contention or gets himself up near the top of the leaderboard, I don't think he's afraid of it. So
I think that's fair.
As like a straight up bet to win at $175 or 175 to 1, like it's worth a buck for me to throw on that.
We're throwing a buck on it.
So yeah, other than that, I don't know if you guys got anything else. I know we all like Homa. I'm just sticking with a friendly face for this one.
I'm developing a bit of a reputation, I think, because I feel like every week I'm saying that, oh yeah, I've got him in my pool. I think you might be able to get it done. And I don't know if it is just bias because I like him. I'm a fan of him. But we were talking about it going into Bermuda. His long term, like if you look back a full season, he is better than his recent form. So you're getting better odds on him than you would be 6 months ago. You're getting better prices on him and low ownership in DFS circles. So, take your shots now. Like it's sort of the opposite of buying the ascendant. You're buying the guy that's his recent form is not good, but you like his long-term, his baseline game. And so,
exactly.
I like him in that regard.
I agree with that. What's he been saying? I've missed the last few episodes of the Shane Bacon pod. Has he talked about his game recently?
I'm a few behind as well.
I also am a few behind.
so no insight there. Okay, here's just looking at numbers, a couple things, because I know it's been bad of late, but I talked about driving accuracy and approach. In driving accuracy, he's hitting 55% of fairways. He's 203rd at the start of the year, the Safeway Open. And approach, strokes gained approach, he is -1. He's 258th ranked in the PGA Tour. So it's not good, but like you said, it's hard to find a PGA Tour winner at 175 to 1.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at, you look at his 2021 and then you look at his full 2020 season and you see a lot better numbers. So if you do think there's some regression back towards his normal play, essentially if you're picking him, you're picking him correcting, a course correction. And yeah, whether or not you believe that's up to you.
I have missed the last couple episodes of his podcast, but I have seen that he's been grinding on the range quite a bit. So
I was gonna say this is
on some other social media.
This is a perfect week for Twitter and Instagram, because you got to see if they're just sitting by and eating leftover turkey for days and days and days, or like what are they doing? Are they gaining weight? Are they hitting the range? You don't know.
Speaking of that, I think it was one of the least shocking announcements of the week when DJ pulled out of this based on his social media accounts. I think he's been hitting up St. Barth's pretty good there over the last couple of weeks.
I don't know about that statement, how much I think that's how much I'm buying that statement that he put out.
What's the statement? Sorry, I missed that.
Basically, I won the Masters, screw you guys, I'll see you in a year. That's not what it said, but his statement was like, after consideration of how my body's blah 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 blah.
Yeah, the loose translation is, I'm gonna keep partying.
I'm on my yacht.
All right, Adam, let's keep this moving along. Adam, who's your long shot?
My long shot is Adam Hadwin. A little bit of a homer pick, another Canadian Adam. Abbotsford boy. I mean, you can't go wrong there. 125 to 1 are his outright odds on 365 right now. He has back-to-back top 10 10th place finishes here at Mayakoba. If you look at his complete career here, his scoring average is really good at 68.66. Another guy who doesn't have great form entering, but I'm kind of betting on him in a lesser field. He's going to be kind of slept on. I just think his long-term form matches up really well here. He's the accurate player. He's an approach player. He just hasn't been off to a great start of this PGA Tour season.
Yeah, fair enough. He's somebody who's got a really solid game, and everybody can kind of have things that sneak into their swing or whatever and are throwing them off for a little bit. But I think Hadwin is just solid enough with the base level of his game that he can get it back. And when he does, I think he's strong in this field. And at 125 to 1, I like him.
Yeah, I mean, and even though things are going bad, he's still accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
He's accurate off the tee, so it's rather safe. It's a pretty high floor. You just don't know when he's going to pop next or kind of get that spark back, I guess.
Yeah. The thing that's a little bit concerning to me is his approach play. Just if you look at his recent tournaments, so that is the one cautionary note. Similar to Homa, Hadwin is minus 0.65 so far in 2021, whereas last year he was gaining a quarter stroke. So, that's almost a full stroke swing there. So, if he turns that around,
let's face it, there's a reason these guys are priced where they're at, right? There's a reason they're long shots.
Yeah.
So, we're looking for course corrections, and we're gonna see them. I'm very confident we're gonna be celebrating another long shot victory here this week, or one of my winner picks. We'll see.
Okay, so let's get into this one because I'm curious to hear Adam's rationale for this next one.
Yeah, so the fades here, Adam. I'm a little bit. I'd like to hear this too.
Okay, so how are we defining fade? So I'm going to say I'm not betting him outright. In terms of DFS, if I'm building, let's say 20 lineups, I might still sprinkle in because there's still talent there. I've teased it. It's Tony Finau. I'm fading Tony Finau this week. I'm flying as close to the sun. Maybe not JT close, but I'm flying as close as possible. I'm fading Tony Finau. Basically, okay. 18 to 1. Is he going to win? No, because he doesn't win on the PGA Tour except for one try.
Oh, that is harsh. Harsh.
Course fit.
This is my boy you're talking about.
Course fit. He's 52% driving accuracy. He's ranked 231st in the PGA Tour this year. So I just don't think this is a court. He might just turn it on and have a good week, but it doesn't match up for the second or third highest ranked person in this field. So, he might be a really easy top 10, but I'm not picking him to win.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I like the aggressive fade. The thing that I struggle with a bit with looking at accuracy is that you're not going to have as many balls end up in the fairway when you're 20 yards past other guys. So if he was hitting his 3-wood, would his accuracy be the same as what these guys are hitting drivers? So that's where I struggle a little bit looking at that as an absolute stat, and more I like to look at the strokes gained, and it's tough because essentially I'm looking at approach being in terms of ball striking. I'm weighting approach more than off the tee here, and so long story short, in DFS I'm going to play him. I don't know. It's tough to anticipate where his ownership will be. I'm not gonna try to be underweight or overweight. Something around 20% likely is where I'll end up on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
The one thing I was gonna add is just his history here. So he missed the cut in 2020, 16th in 2019, missed the cut again in 2017, and he was 7th in 2015. So it's very hot and cold.
Okay. Well, I don't like all this slagging on my boy, so I'm just gonna move on here. I'm going to...
watch this be the week he breaks through.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brooks Koepka.
Fade bump. I was... Right
on. Bump.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping, Tony.
All
Get
right,
her
Kev.
done. I'm gonna go with Brooks Koepka as my fade. This is I like to look at the fade as a top 10 player who won't win, and to me, that's gonna be Brooks Koepka this week. He's just down there for a vacay in Mexico.
Wow.
It's not a major. He doesn't care. He'll go out there. He'll hit it good. What does he shoot? I don't care. He'll say afterwards. He's just down there for reps. Surprised to see him down there in the first place. Maybe he is motivated. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll be fading Brooks. I'm not gonna touch Brooks. I think he's 10-1, and it's way
As
too
a
high.
dedicated listener, he's motivated now.
Yeah, that's true. I like to give him this bulletin board material, just like Craig did at the Masters. You could give him a little juice there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm staying away from that fade now. So I like the fade just because I think that he does better on. I don't know if he's super well suited. I think that he does better on courses where he can get some advantage with power. But that said, just be pure talent level. I think he's got a good chance. So it's flying close to the sun. I like the fade. I don't know if I'm going to be completely fading him in my place.
I think he's very similar in many ways to Finau. So just kind of how they set up here.
Craig, who are you fading?
So I don't know if maybe I'm not flying as close to the sun. Rickie Fowler, I see him at 25-1. I don't want anything to do with that. We were talking about Russell Henley at 22-1. We were talking about Abe Ancer at 20-1. I don't know what Zalatoris is coming in at, but I like him better.
30, I believe.
30. So, it's just, I still think with Rickie, we're trying to catch a falling knife, and I don't know if I'm ready to jump back on that one. I don't know if his game is ready to turn it around yet. So, it's a fade for me.
Even in spite of his extra motivation.
Yes, I have considered that, and I am still
okay. I just want to make sure.
So Craig, he's played here twice. He has 8 rounds here. He's never gone over 70. He's been in the 60s every time. His scoring average is 67. He's placed 16th and 2nd at this course.
Well, yeah, but in 2017 and 2018, he was one of the best golfers in the world. Like, this is like when you throw Tiger stats at me. Yeah, 2017. I want to say
I
he was
don't
like
throw Tiger stats at you.
Well, it's like Sherwood, like, oh yeah, he's played here 12 times and he's won 11 of them or something. I'm like, yeah, well, Tiger Woods used to be a really good golfer.
Used to.
So
listen to this.
Rickie Fowler,
that's Mr. Woods to you, all right?
You're correct, and I am not wanting to turn this into slagging Tiger, but Rickie Fowler,
that was close.
He's losing a half a stroke, like total strokes gained. He's losing a half a stroke. You've got to go down to like players who are not very good to be finding people who are doing that.
Yeah, don't name names.
Wow, yeah. The bus is getting up to be a bumpy ride here with all these people you're throwing under the bus.
Honestly, I feel like I had to be kind of the opposite voice there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Rickie. In DFS, it might be a fade, it might be a sprinkle. I don't know, man. He burned me.
I guess you're always saying like be early on this guy. I'm not going to be early on Rickie. I want to see Rickie turn his game around.
I think that's
going to jump on.
I kind of feel like that's where I am.
And I want to see it. I'm not saying I'm cheering for him to do bad. I'd love to see him turn his game around.
Yeah, and quite frankly, he's such a popular guy. He's and that's priced into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're never going to get value on him. And so when he's struggling, it feels like a hard bet, that's for sure. So Adam, with our top Canadian picks, I'm assuming you're gonna stick with your long shot there.
I'm going to Hadwin. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go Corey Connors. I think he's been playing great lately. At 30-1, he's another interesting bet too. But as far as top Canadians in this field, I'm going with Mr. Connors.
I really like Connors this week. If we do a DFS video, he will be mentioned. If it's not by me, by someone. But I really like Connors. He was probably my short list as a pick to win.
Yeah, I like Connors as well. I'd love to see him get a win here. Mine is Michael Gligic, 250-1. We're talking about Rickie Fowler losing a half stroke. Gligic is gaining a stroke. So I all I'm saying is I don't know how this Michael Gligic thing is happening, but ride the wave while you can. He did miss a cut at the RSM, but before that we've seen a pretty good string of 7 out of 8 straight cuts made. So yeah, let's hope for more of that.
One thing of note there, we had Monday qualifiers just earlier today. Drew Nesbitt, Canadian from Toronto, I believe, made it. He's
Drew.
25. Yeah. He plays on the, I think, Latino America tour. So, I mean, if you want to go deep, he probably has some good experience in this part of the world. And if you Monday qualify, you're always kind of hot.
That's true. That's quite the take there. I like it.
There you go.
I like it. All right. Well, the all-important one and done.
Plant your flag.
Plant your flag. Adam, who you got?
Okay, so my pick to win was Henley for one and done. I've already used Henley, so I'm actually going Abraham Ancer.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Kevin, I agree with you. I think he's playing really well. I think he fits. It's a good fit here. I think I kind of talked about Ortiz winning. Maybe it's this extra motivation. He's in Mexico now. He can fly the flag. I don't know. It just seems like it's all coming together. The stars are aligning for Ancer to get it.
Yep. I'm also going with Ancer as my one and done pick. So it's good to know that unless Craig actually picks someone who makes the cut this week, that the lead will stay where it's at.
Ooh.
Okay, well.
So that's 2 answers. Craig, who you got?
My pick to win, JT, I'm going to hold on to him. I'm going to save him for, a bigger purse maybe. I'm going Joachim Niemann. So he's coming off a tied for 44th at RSM. But before that, we had a string of 6 straight, where his worst finish was 28th. A couple top 10s. He was somewhere in the top 30 for a few months there. I think that he's the type of guy that if it turns into a birdie fest and you just got to take runs at birdies and hitting it close, I'll take my shot with him.
Yeah, he can do it.
He's not crazy long, but he's a good ball striker. If it does get windy, he's got a low ball flight. So, we'll see. I'll shoot my shot. Joachim Niemann.
All right. Well, there it is. Everybody's flag has been planted.
Wow.
We'll see how that plays out. So that pretty much does it for the Mayakoba preview part of this. Let's move on to the Golf in Dubai Championship. So where is this one being held, Adam?
Dubai.
Okay, good. Okay, I just wasn't sure.
And what is it that they're playing?
Golf.
What sport? Okay.
Dubai.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Adam,
come on, guys.
You want to give us a little course preview?
Yeah, so inaugural edition of this event. So the World Tour Championship is next week for the European Tour. This is the Golf in Dubai, so a lot of the big names are already over there. This is the last chance to get into the top 60 in the Race to Dubai and play in the World Tour Championship. They play at a course, now I've lost my notes from earlier. Jumeirah. Jumeirah in Dubai. It has 2 complexes. So usually the Earth course is for the World Tour. They're playing the Fire course this week. It's a little bit shorter than the Earth course, but it still tips out at 7,400 plus yards. So still a long course.
Wow.
Yeah. From what I've heard or from what I've read online, it is slightly easier than the Earth course that they play for the World Tour. Yeah. That's it. We
haven't seen anything here. We've seen a lot of high level competitions at the Earth course, but this will be the first one here. So we don't have a ton of information in terms of what type of player should do well. I just wanted to throw out. I'm just looking at the show notes here. The penultimate, excellent word. The penultimate tournament of the European Tour this year. Just fantastic.
I wrote this big lengthy paragraph, and then when I'm actually on air, I can't read it. I should have done bullet points.
Well, that's because you have words like penultimate in there. It's intimidating. Well, let's just get right into it. Who are you guys picking to win? Craig, let's start with you.
Yeah, so we did a full DFS show, so we're just going to be a little bit briefer here. I'm going Sami Valimaki. He's 30-1. He's someone I brought up, I believe, in the Cyprus showdown video we did. He's a very young guy. He's just seems to catch fire in tournaments, and is one of these guys that's a real gamer. And he can putt, and he can putt lights out. So I'll take him 30-1. If he gets hot, I think he could take it down.
So what's going on here? It's been a few hours since we taped our year tour YouTube video. He wasn't on it.
Well, that was DFS. 30-1. I like those odds. I didn't,
Okay.
Kamer was my other one that I had picked there. He's at 14. I'd rather take the someone who's a little bit longer here.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Speaking of longer, Adam, who you got?
I had to look at the odds because I'm sure he's right up there, but I don't really care because he's the best player in the field, which I talked about on our YouTube video. When he's at his best, he is better than anyone else. Craig says that's a hot take, but I'm sticking with it. It's Thomas Pieters.
Well,
My boy.
better than anyone else in this field, you said, just to be clear, because that would be a much bolder claim otherwise.
Better than anyone else in this field. Thomas Pieters, he's 18-1. I don't know if I like that. I might sneak in kind of a parlay, maybe with Abe Ancer, maybe with Henley, to kind of get it to a price where I feel like it's that lotto ticket that I like. Yeah, Thomas Pieters. Let me get to my notes here. I think he's first in the year tour in strokes gained tee to green. He's third in birdie average. He's 13th in driving distance. He was first in strokes gained approach at the sister course last year at the World Tour Championship. He's just the best ball striker. Like, yeah, he has mostly a lot of cold weeks of putting, but he's just the best ball striker. So it's Thomas Pieters.
All right, well,
I like
can't argue with that. Sticking with your boy, I like the loyalty there.
He'll be in some of my DFS lineups for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna stick with my boy, who I think is the best player in the field when he's playing his best.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Hey, just because he's young. I mean, look at his results recently. This of course is Robert MacIntyre. So recently got his first win. Followed that up in his next start was last week at the Dunhill. He tied for 6th. In his last 12 competitive rounds, he has not shot over par. He shot par in one of them, and he's been under par in the other 11. He's a guy who is playing great golf, trending in the right direction, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him get another victory this week. He tends to be the kind of player that when he's playing well and is having good results, he stacks them. That's what he did in the past to kind of skyrocket up the order of merit. And I think that's what he's going to keep doing this week. I wouldn't be surprised if now that he's got the monkey off his back as far as getting a win, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get another one.
Yeah,
and of course, he's my boy. He's a favorite, 12-1.
Oh, he's a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what the best players in the field get priced at, all right?
We brought it up, I think, either before or after his win, but one of the things, he changed caddies. It sounded like he kind of had looked to take a more mature approach to the game and a more serious approach, and almost like seen that as the way for him to break through to the next level of golf. And it's like that was a working man's top 10 he had. It wasn't like he ran away in the first couple of rounds. It was one of those ones you see the top players in the world where like they never really were in contention, but they still made sure their check was bigger than it could be come the end of the tournament. He
shot the low round of the day on Sunday with a 67 to move way up. So love to see that. I love to see that. So but I mean, it proves too that his game is in good shape, right? You don't just go out and throw out a number like that without playing well.
Yeah, so, I really like it. I really like the pick.
Yeah.
I don't know, Kevin. Bobby Mack and Ancer a little short. You might want to parlay them. I'm just saying.
I may well do that. All right.
There might be something.
We'll wait and see. Sometimes, on a guy like Robbie Mack, though, I get it's almost a little too close to my heart. It's like how I never bet on the Vikings. I just don't bet on the Vikings games because it hurts too much. If I'm right and I bet against them, then it hurts. Anything.
Hey man, I hear that. I got that Chargers helmet. I know all about pain.
All right, guys, let's move on to our long shots here. Adam, we'll start with you.
My long shot is I love digging and scraping up this information for these European Tour events. And I love this one as well. Sebastien Heisele. So he is, let me just check on DraftKings. I know he's 6,900 in the Euro event. He's 110 to 1. I talked to him a little bit, but he's 34th in strokes gained total, 13th in strokes gained off the tee, and 24th in birdie average. This is the 2020 European Tour stats, year long. Last 8 events. So he's just been really solid. Last 8 events, he has 5 top 25s. I think a handful of top 15s. I think maybe 1 top 5 or top 10. And 3 missed cuts. But those missed cuts, one was that Aphrodite showdown where you had to make that. It was like 36 or something you had to make. One was on the number and one was within a stroke. So when he misses, he's not missing by much. And then the last thing that I really like, he grew up in Dubai. So he caddied.
That's the secret insider knowledge there.
I know, this is where I get really excited. Not at this course, but at the Emirates course. He caddied when he was younger. He's got multiple club championships at the Emirates course. I know they're different courses, but it's the same city. I mean,
and chances are you've played the course. Even if you're a member at one, you've probably gone over to play the other one at some point.
I don't know him that well, but they're 20 minutes down the road. I'm sure he's played it a number of times. He's playing better than he's ever played in his life, I think, in his career. So it's kind of a nice mix of Dubai, local, and playing well. 110 to 1. Heisele.
All right. Well.
I feel like I might need to spell it out. It's Heisele. Heisele.
Heisele.
I can't say I have a lot of takes on Heisele, honestly.
I'm pretty sure I got that pronunciation from him. He went to school in Colorado, of all places. I think he's German born. I don't know now. So he said his name that way, so I'm pretty confident in it.
All right. Well,
I like it.
I'm gonna go with Ross Fisher, who hasn't been playing super well as of late, but at the showdown there, he did miss the cut on the number. So I think that might be the sign of things turning around for him. At 75 to 1, he's a guy who's won, I think, 5 times on the European Tour. And he's long off the tee, so he's got plenty of distance to take advantage of the use that to his advantage on a longer course. And I think he's a guy, again, 75 to 1, previous winner. I think he could win again. As for my long shots, I like to look for guys that I think can actually win. I know you guys have slightly different strategies playing with DFS and stuff, but I'm usually placing outright bets. And so, yeah.
Rick's shaking his head. I feel like
I was going to say, speaking of guys who can win, let me get started on my guy. So Ondrej Leeser, he is coming off the Challenge Tour. So he's just finishing his first year on the Challenge Tour.
I feel like you need to spell that because it's not Ondrej. It's
Ondrejliser. He's a Czech. I believe he was the first person to win. Definitely the first person to win the grand final of the Challenge Tour. So he won his way onto the European Tour this past November 22nd, so a week ago. He won the tournament before that as well. He was 4th in the tournament before that. If you go back, he's got 8 starts since the COVID restart. He's been top 15 in 7 of them. So the guy, whatever you want to say about the quality of competition, the guy's playing good golf. He hasn't missed a cut since 2018. This is European Tour events, Challenge Tour events, and Pro Golf Tour, which is sort of the next tier down. But regardless, that's a lot of time to not go without just a straight blow up round.
That's absurd. I mean, that's just crazy.
The terms he's been playing, I've been a little curious. He does have a 1-year-old kid at home, so I don't know if he has been playing in everything he can, or if he's been staying a little bit more local during this post-COVID time. But to me, it's just ride the wave. You know, he went from 500 and something in the world a month ago, and he's now 178th. So if you think there's something to that, and you want to ride the momentum, he is what is he? He's 125 to 1. So
yeah, you can't really argue with that case that you've just laid out there. I mean, you got, like I say, you gotta like guys that win, and he's been winning. So he's been winning what's been put in front of him.
yeah.
So.
You can only play the games.
I mean, like talking about like doing the research. I love this, Craig. But where did you find this kid? Like I'm on his website and he only has Facebook. I think like where
he doesn't have a whole lot of sponsor horsepower behind him. I don't think.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean,
how did I find him?
Find out that he is a kid and all. And
so you gotta go to some of those Czech websites and then do the translate. Get Google Translate to help you out there a bit.
If anybody was doubting the amount of research that goes into this, there you go.
Sometimes it says some very odd things, like apparently he was going to stab his return to golf. So I don't quite know what they were going for there, but you can read between the lines and flesh it out.
Oh, I'm going to spend hours on this guy's Facebook. He's got his trophy strapped up in his airplane seat next to him.
Maybe he thinks he might need that for admission to the tournament.
I am winner.
Ondrej Lizer, yeah. All right, well, he's going to be a household name after this podcast, I think.
I love it.
Right on. Well, you guys got anything else you want to touch on before we wrap her this week?
No, I guess the one thing we'll have, our normal DFS videos for the Mayakoba coming out tomorrow, I guess. And then we'll be doing live on Twitch at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be, chatting through the whole field. So if you want to come... come check us out, Grandstand Golf on Twitter. You'll always get everything we're doing there, and Adam will push through when we're going live.
The other thing, the Golf in Dubai Championship, I forgot to say this, I think. It starts Wednesday morning, which is actually Tuesday night here. So if you do want to get any bets in, any DFS lineups in, I think for your guys, it's like 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, Tuesday night. So... you got about 24 hours
Don't
now
linger.
to get everything.
All right, all right.
It's not the usual weekly schedule.
No. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of push it to Wednesday night with the Euro Tour, but Tuesday night kind of springs up on you there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. You can always check out all of our content at grandstandgolf.com. And we look forward to talking more golf with you in the future. Take care, everyone.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.